Advanced vocabulary is essential for academic writing as it allows you to convey complex ideas and arguments more precisely. Here's a detailed explanation with examples of advanced vocabulary commonly used in academic writing. 1. Advanced adjectives. Exemplary. 1. Example. The research study provided an exemplary analysis of the data. Pertinent. 1. Example. The conclusion drawn from the experiment was highly pertinent to the overall hypothesis. Ubiquitous. 1. Example. The use of smartphones has become ubiquitous in modern society. Efficacious. 1. Example. The new teaching method proved to be highly efficacious in improving student performance. 2. Sophisticated verbs. Mitigate. 1. Example. Efforts were made to mitigate the impact of climate change through sustainable practices. Ameliorate. 1. Example. The proposed policies aim to ameliorate the economic disparities within the region. Exacerbate. 1. Example. The lack of communication only served to exacerbate the existing conflict. Augment. 1. Example. The introduction of technology augmented the efficiency of the manufacturing process. 3. Precise nouns. Conundrum. 1. Example. The ethical conundrum presented a complex dilemma for policymakers. Paradigm. 1. Example. The new research challenges the existing paradigm in the field of linguistics. Panacea. 1. Example. The government's plan was not a panacea for the country's economic woes. Dichotomy. 1. Example. The study explored the dichotomy between theory and practice in educational settings. 4. Advanced adverbs. Consequently. 1. Example. The experiment yielded unexpected results. Consequently, further investigation is warranted. Notwithstanding. 1. Example. The success of the project was remarkable, notwithstanding the initial skepticism. Invariably. 1. Example. In academic research, the methodology should invariably be transparent and replicable. Nonetheless. 1. Example. The data presented several challenges. Nonetheless, the findings were significant. 5. Connectors and transitions. Moreover. 1. Example. The research methodology was robust, and, moreover, the sample size was extensive. Conversely. 1. Example. The initial hypothesis was not supported. Conversely, alternative explanations were explored. Subsequently. 1. Example. The initial phase of the project was completed successfully, and subsequently, the focus shifted to data analysis. Admittedly. 1. Example. The limitations of the study, admittedly, impact the generalizability of the findings. 6. Complex structures. Inasmuch as. 1. Example. The success of the educational program can be attributed to multiple factors, inasmuch as it addresses the diverse needs of students. Owing to the fact that. 1. Example. The decline in biodiversity is significant, owing to the fact that human activities continue to impact natural ecosystems. On the grounds that. 1. Example. The decision was made on the grounds that the new policy would enhance overall organizational efficiency. With a view to. 1. Example. The project was initiated with a view to improving community engagement and social cohesion. 7. Hedging language. Conceivably. 1. Example. The results of the study conceivably suggest a correlation between the variables. Arguably. 1. Example. The experimental design, arguably, could have influenced the outcomes. To some extent. 1. Example. The survey results, to some extent, reflect the opinions of the sampled population. In all likelihood. 1. Example. Based on the available data, the hypothesis, in all likelihood, is supported. Tips for using advanced vocabulary in academic writing. Context matters. 1. Ensure that the advanced vocabulary you use is appropriate for the context and contributes to clarity rather than complexity. Varied language. 1. Incorporate a variety of advanced words to avoid repetition and enhance the overall quality of your writing. Precision is key. 1. Choose words that precisely convey your intended meaning, avoiding ambiguity. Read widely. 1. Exposure to diverse academic writing styles will expose you to a broader range of advanced vocabulary. Proofread carefully. 1. Review your writing to ensure that advanced vocabulary is used correctly and effectively. By incorporating advanced vocabulary into your academic writing, you demonstrate a command of language and an ability to articulate complex ideas with precision. This enhances the overall quality and impact of your scholarly work.